If you want to grow your glutes, your booty, your buttocks, your derriere, you have to know your glute shape. One of the things that I constantly see on social media when it comes to content telling us how to grow our booties is none of them include how our glute shape, how our body shape plays a role into growing your glutes. A lot of the times, we're listening to these influencers on social media telling us how to grow our glutes, and they recommend these exercises, but how do you know that they work for you? That was always my question when it came to growing my glutes. I'm like, great, I see that she has a great shape. If I saw an influencer giving me advice on how to grow my glutes, it's not that I wouldn't take their advice for it. It's like, let me go to their background. What kind of glutes did they have before versus now? While that doesn't mean a lot, because someone like me, I would be considered curvy. Like, I was considered curvy before I actually went full force into this whole idea. But the reality is, it's just like, it's my body shape. My body shape had a lot to do with the progress that I was gonna make or the progress I needed to make, right? So when it comes to growing your glutes, you need to know your glute shape in order to know what a most effective exercise is you need to be doing in order to get results faster. I can't stress this enough. And so that's pretty much what this video is going to be about today. I'm going to show you how you can identify your glute shape based off of your body structure and shape. And then I'm going to talk about what exercises are best for your glute shape. So if you're someone like me, you're probably wondering why does this even matter? Why is it important to train your glutes? If you're anything like me and you're working out majority for the aesthetic reasons, right? I'm working out, one of my biggest motivations and the reason why I'm still passionate about working out is my passion for growing my glutes, the aesthetic reasons, right? If you're someone who doesn't really care to have a full derriere, doesn't really care for nice curves, doesn't work out for a fit, nice toned body, then this definitely is not for you. If you're not someone who's looking to grow their glutes faster or have better results based on their glute shapes, then definitely turn away from this video. Just don't even waste your time. I don't want to waste any more of your time. Or if you're someone who doesn't want to deal with health issues as you grow older, believe it or not, our hips, our glutes pretty much stabilize our body. It's a part of our core area. And so, especially as we get older, a lot of common accidents that's happening is falls, hip injuries, and things like that. And if you don't want to have those issues when you get older, right, I would definitely recommend you do some glute exercises. That's why my reasons for essentially wanting to grow my glutes, more so for the aesthetic reasons. We all know, if you don't know, one of the most popular shapes is the hourglass shape. And not just because it's the most popular, but also the symmetry it gives our bodies, the physique balance that it gives our body. And so if you're anything like me, you're looking to grow your glutes simply because you want to have a nice physique, that nice fit toned body with the nice curves in the back, definitely stay tuned, okay? You're in the right place. But before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Deidre Statuto. I am an online fitness coach and a glute specialist. I have been passionate about growing my glutes for the past 8 years, and I have tried it all. Booty programs, random workouts from online, to glute programs from girls that I've seen have flat cakes to growing their glutes. And one of the things that stuck out to me the most was how do I know this is going to work for me? And another thing that I used to question myself is okay, that worked for her, but how will I know that this works for me? And so I'm really, really big on personalization. While I'm no one special, I understand and I believe that if you have a program that's tailored to your body, your goals, right, you're more likely to get faster results. And take it from someone who spent years following other glute guides, following other people's advice on what I should do for my glute growth. And mind you, this information is general. It's not specifically towards me because I didn't have anyone specifically tell me what I need. Even when I went with a coach that specialized in personal, training, She didn't really give me any insight on how do I get the body that I want? What exercises do I need to focus on in order to get the body that I want? And so I feel like that's so important. And granted, we understand that if you know this information, then you won't need them anymore. But see, that's what I'm not afraid of that. I feel like the more you know, the better you will do. And when you're doing something that you can do on your own, you will feel more confident to do the things that you need to do. That's why I feel that it's important that we know our glute shape, because you can be spending years in the gym growing your glutes, right? But if you're not doing the exercises that are fit for your glute shape, it really is just like, you're just really giving your body a nice pump. Like you're pretty much just working out to be working out. And take it from me, from someone who spent years doing things like that. It's pretty much a big waste of time, and you also feel like a failure because, you're putting in all this work to get the results that you want, but for whatever reason, they're just not like resulting. And yeah, there are gonna be other things. There can be other factors that play a role into why you're not getting the results that you want. But a big part of that is exercise selection. And once I became a glute certified specialist, one of the things that they taught me was that exercise selection is going to make the biggest impact on how you're going to grow your glutes based on your shape. All right, so let's break that down. Before we get into figuring out which glute shape is yours and how you know which glute shape is yours, let's look at the glute muscles to make sure we understand the glute anatomy. And so the glute muscle is broken down into 3 muscles. And fun fact, the glute is actually the biggest muscle in our body. It actually connects to every other muscles in our body. First, we have the glute maximus. This is the largest muscle of the 3. It takes up about 2/3 of our glute muscles. The glute max pretty much gives our hips and our glutes shape. Then we have the glute medius and the glute minimus, which are the smaller muscles. The glute medius is located right above the hip joints, and it's pretty much the middle layer of our glutes. One of the things I will say, it's really hard to target the glute medius, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible. Exercises like the lateral bands are definitely going to be what hits the glute medius. And then we have the glute minimus, which is the smallest muscle of the 3. It sits right underneath the glute medius. Now, although the glute medius and minimus are pretty much lumped together, they do serve different purposes. That's why it's important to mention all 3 glute muscles. Now that we have an idea of the glute anatomy, take a second right now to pretty much locate those muscles in your body. In order to figure out your glute shape, the first thing that you want to do is take a picture of your body. This will help us identify our glute shape better. So what you're going to do is pretty much get your camera to stand alone. You're going to be stepping away from your camera. Make sure you turn to your back side and pretty much just snap a picture, so that way when you're trying to identify which glute shape you have, you know exactly what to compare it to. Oh, and did I mention that I created a guide to go with this video, so you can go ahead and get that guide right here in the description below. Make sure to get that guide so that way you know exactly how to identify your glute shape and do the right exercises so that way you can get faster results. So before we get into specific glute shapes and what exercises you need to do, there are going to be 3 exercises that you need to be doing no matter what in order to grow your glutes. These exercises are the best for targeting your glutes, meaning that they give the most activation, and this is based on research. Exercises like the hip thrust variations, squat variations, and deadlifts are going to be exercises that you include no matter what your glute shape is. They target the glute maximus the most, which is the biggest glute muscle, as we learned earlier. And so remember, if it's targeting the biggest glute muscle that you have, right, you're already getting growth within 2/3 of your glutes because they're targeting the biggest muscle of the 3 glute muscles. All right, so let's get into the glute shape. So the first shape that we're going to talk about is square shape. If you have a square shape, you usually have a higher hip bone placement, and you more than likely have hip dips, but this is not necessarily in order to determine you have a square booty. Like me, I don't necessarily have hip dips, but I definitely have a square booty because one of the biggest characteristics of a square booty is that you have love handles, which is something I definitely have. I have love handles. So if you have love handles or you may have hip dips, more than likely you are a square glute girly. Next, we have the heart shape or the pear shape. If you're someone with a heart shape or a pear shape, you're typically heavier at the bottom of your glutes, and then it gets tapered up as we get to the waist size. This is one of the most sought out shapes as well. All right, next we have round shapes. When it comes to round shapes, you pretty much have an even distribution on the upper and lower division of the glutes. And so essentially, you're someone who pretty much wants to firm or keep your glute size. Lastly, we have the V-shaped glutes. When it comes to the V-shaped glutes, you essentially have fuller glutes at the top, and then it tapers towards the bottom of the glutes. Now, this shape typically isn't popular in women, but I've definitely seen some V-shaped girlies. So don't feel like, oh, no, this ain't me. You may be a V-shape. This is also the typical shape for men as well. Now, let me also emphasize that no shape, no matter what shape you are, is better than the other. One of the things that they actually did not talk about is why is using your glute shape so important? Knowing your glute shape is how BBL doctors, plastic surgeons, and trainers, good trainers, this is how we determine how to grow your glutes. We pretty much take a picture of your booty, look at what areas need to be enhanced, what areas are okay, and we take it from there. That's exactly what surgeons do. They essentially look at your glutes, determine where do they need to place the fat inside your glutes in order to give you that round look. And it's essentially the same thing with exercise. The way your body is structured does play a role, like in terms of fat distribution and muscle distribution. That also plays a role into how your glutes shape as well. Now you know why it's important to know your glute shape, because if you know your glute shape, you can essentially determine what areas need to be enhanced, what muscles need to be targeted, and then once you figure out what muscles need to be targeted, you can start working on those muscles specifically instead of working on muscles that doesn't necessarily need to grow, or doing exercises that doesn't necessarily grow that specific glute area better than the other. You know, for me, for a while, I was doing hip thrusts, deadlifts, and squats, but I wasn't doing any isolation exercises, and that's why my glutes and my booty wasn't growing as big, because I wasn't doing exercises that target the specific muscle to enhance that growth. Okay, so now let's talk about what exercises you need to do in order to get results faster, in order to grow your booty bigger, in order to see results. Let's start off with the square shape. If you're a square shape mommy, comparing it to the glute anatomy, you want to focus on the glute minimus. So exercises like the cable abduction, the lion abduction exercises in general are going to be great to help you grow your glutes if you're a square glute mommy. For round shaped glutes, exercises like deadlifts and hip thrusts are definitely going to be your best friend. You also want to do those exercises in isolations like single leg RDLs and single leg hip thrusts to truly give you that for your glutes. And you also want to incorporate leg abductions to truly continue to have that nice round glute shape. Now, if you are a V-shaped girly, exercises like Bulgarian split squats, lunges, good mornings are going to be best for targeting the lower glutes. And I would actually stay away from abduction movements since the higher part of your glutes is already enhanced. That side is already the fat distribution is there. I will focus more on the lower part of your glutes to truly get the bottom of your glutes to grow. And that's it for now. In a couple of days, I'm going to be coming out with a video about how my client Crystal grew her glutes in just 3 weeks by simply using exercises that targeted the areas that she needed to enhance. You're definitely gonna wanna be tuned in for that one. So make sure you are following me, subscribe to me, all of those good things that keep you up to date with the next video that I'm gonna be coming out with. And so if you wanna see me do any of these exercises that I'm mentioning here, let me know and I'll go ahead, let me know which video exercise you want me to do and I'll go ahead and do it. So I wanna know, what glute shape do you think you are? Let me know in the comments below. I already told you mine. I'm pretty much a square glute girly. I wanna know what you think your shape is. And let me know in the comment below, and let me know if you have any questions or feedback about any questions that you have about this video. Go ahead and comment in the comment section below, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. But boy, for now,